what's going on? Welcome back to OTT. My name's Lee, and today we're just having a bit of a chinwag, lads, aren't we, really? Let's be honest.
A little bit,
We ain't thought of an episode name, so what's happening? And we're with Dan, of course, the main man. How are you, big man?
I'm good. I mean, this is weird. Usually I have it at the studio, but we're having it here at least.
We're at a new studio. We're at a different studio today. Yeah, we're at Maida Vale.
You must excuse us because obviously we've been drinking.
Yeah, we're getting on the bevies tonight, guys. It is going to be a bit of a loose, fast and loose episode. Am I right, boys?
Sounds like a Saturday night.
Yeah, we've all got together to touch tips. I mean, have a party. Oh my God. Really?
Touch what?
Nearly give us away then. Of course, we've got Jake with us as well. Jake.
Hello.
How are you, mate?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm really good. And just before we start, I need to put a bit of a disclaimer out. There's going to be some bad language, and there is going to be 3 fully grown men speaking real zesty, low into a mic, because these microphones make you sound like you're commentating on a porn. Oh yeah, baby. Like what I love, Sean from Lift Hills and Thrills. He was like, "Oh yeah, it's Lift Hills and Thrills, baby."
Oh yeah, you've got the S's.
Oh my God, I could have listened to that shit all night. It was. So obviously, as you can see, we've upgraded a little bit, Dan.
We have. I mean, I've literally gone mad.
Thanks to Dan's credit card.
I bought everyone SM7Bs and microphones and stuff and gone madness.
All we had to do is suck his cock.
And that's pretty much it.
Right, and to be fair, it's quite nice. There's not a crease on it. Am I right? It's a lovely penis.
There you go. No, but anyway, 1,000 subscribers.
Oh
wow.
yeah.
Wow. It's only took us 9 years. That's
Well,
such,
we got the
some
channel just
achievement.
as COVID started, didn't it? Because that's when you transitioned
That's
over.
what transition. Whoa, let's not get into that.
Steady on, mate.
We're not going into there. We don't need
Bangkok.
the alphabet people on our backs. So Dan basically started the channel. What year was it you started? 2019, 2020?
I think it was just after. Yeah, just went during COVID. I think it was.
COVID.
It's when we changed over from theme park family.
And that's basically when I started Inversion Addicts. Roughly, we started just at the end of lockdown. So
to be fair, a lot of people were taking up podcasts during the lockdown because everyone was like, "I've got nothing to do. There's no parks open, and I just want to talk to virtual people." And
and so Dan made his first friend, which is
I did really, and you've stuck with me ever since.
Stuck with him ever since. I couldn't imagine life without him. Could you?
To be honest, no, I'm not gonna lie. It's been a fun few years, hasn't it? Since we both wore the same T-shirt, talking
I
about
remember that
absolute rubbish.
It was a tough watch.
The thing is, though, I didn't even realise until you were like, "Danny, we were wearing the same T-shirt." I was like, "Shit." Fuck, damn it.
Who wore it better though? That's the question.
Yeah, well,
Me.
let us know.
I've gained more weight since that though. So.
I think we all have, mate.
Don't
Let's
be
be
hard on
honest,
yourself.
mate.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. I think it's a touchy subject.
Yeah, Christmas is just
a touchy subject.
It's a winter coat, but yeah.
But yeah, you know what I mean? And the thing is with me with OTT, what I love is, especially lately, the last, say, 12 months, we've all kind of drifted, done our own thing. Obviously, I'm not really doing Inversion Addicts anymore. Theme Park Jake slowed down a little bit. Obviously, Coaster Dan went for a Burton. Just off it
Took
went.
a dump somewhere.
Yeah, you'll find it somewhere near Thorpe Park, crying in a bush. But we all still come together, we all still chat, we've all still on a group chat. And then lately, as you all know, OTT's come back. And I think it was all just because we all sort of missed that camaraderie, didn't we? The lads, get back together.
I remember I think you messaged me saying, "Lee," you were like, Danny, we should get back together. And I was like, but it was me there. I was always working a lot. Same with Rob.
See, I'm working a lot, and that's why I wanted to do it, because I need that time. Because this to me isn't work; it's fun.
Yeah,
and it's lads, and it's us lot getting together. And it's an excuse for us all to meet up. And already we've booked a trip to Orlando. We're going to Florida at the end of 2024. And it's things like getting back together, having a chat with the lads, and now we're all in Chorley, Lancashire, recording a podcast. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's weird coming up to the north, isn't it? Like.
It's cold, and
it's cold.
The men are men, and do you know what I love about Charlie? Is the men are men and the women are men, and it's it's brilliant. There's hair on all chests.
Well, as me and Jake were driving up, we were like, "Oh my God, there's snow." We are definitely in north.
Yeah, it's cold up north. Yeah, all my northern watchers, just hold tight, man. We'll survive this long winter.
Cold. It's so cold and grey. It is what it is. But yeah, overall, man, I just want to say a massive thank you. Really,
it's been great.
Oh, you're welcome, Dan. It's not been easy.
It's been a roller coaster, that's for sure.
It's been fun coming back. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think all of us have had so much fun, like talking to each other again, getting to do the show together again.
And I think when we started, we were all kind of not amateurs necessarily, but we were all finding our feet. We were all new to stuff. Yeah. And now I feel like we've all sort of come out the other end. We all kind of have our own craft. Obviously, if it weren't for Dan, we wouldn't be speaking into the microphone that Billie Jean was recorded on
with his wonderful credit card.
Yeah. Visa love this guy.
That's credit scores.
Onto our video sponsor today, MasterCard. But no, I love it that we're all back, and I feel like no matter what happens, OTT is always going to be a little thing. Even if we don't do an episode for a year, I reckon we could come back and just all shoot the shit.
We can. I think us coming back in the past few months is proven to us that we can do the show not regularly, but also we can still grow the show.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We found multiple ways to grow the channel.
Not including Lifters and Thrills input. We've gained some subscribers lately.
I mean, having that when we had him on, that was absolutely incredible. And in fact, we have like a whole list of people who wanted to come on. The minute we put that out, everyone was
as soon as we got Sean on, it just went,
"Way!"
And now we're all throwing money at him, trying to get him as a co-host.
But you talk about like the previous year, and you look at when we started the Plopsa land trip. I think since then our channel grew. We were like 400 or 500.
I love the OTT Presents series though. I love that shit. I feel like that's where the channel was going. And obviously, if we weren't all so busy, we would put out a lot more like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like the more we are growing, that could be more possible now. I think we'll all put more time and effort in.
Yeah, I definitely think more time in. There it is.
This is the content you want on Off the Tracks, guys.
That can be edited out.
Staying in. Everything's staying in. But no, it's been an absolutely incredible journey. I've loved every single minute of it. I have. It's been good, mate. It's been a laugh as well. And like you say, mate, it's nice that we can step away for 6 months and then come back and it's just like I've never been away. Do you know
the thing is though, we've got a sweepstake going on, Dan. We didn't tell you this, but basically every time OTT comes back, we all have a bet to see how long it'll take till you get bored again and fuck off and do DL media. And then we're like, oh, all right, are we live in 10 minutes tonight? And we ring down and is it a wedding?
That pays the bills.
Hang on a minute, I'm just doing a wedding.
Well, hopefully, fingers crossed. Like when we get monetized,
we're nearly there.
We are nearly there.
And after this quality content goes out, we're definitely there, right?
we need to have over 100 likes, over 10,000 views. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I feel like OTT. Sorry to interrupt you. I feel like OTT has evolved.
Yes.
I feel like we are evolving.
I think I'll add on to that. What I was going to say as well is that over the past year, we've introduced many different types of content. Yeah. We've introduced, you can do your normal top 5, whatever.
Yeah.
But we don't like that. We prefer what's it?
Well, I feel like everybody's done it. I feel like that's one of my main criticisms. Excuse me. I'm going to go now. Edit. Cut. Roll them tapes. I feel like the main criticism I have of the community, which is a dark word on this channel, very damn teetering around, is that there is a lot of repetitive videos that everybody does the same shit. And that's one thing I realised is obviously when you're new to community, the first year or two of Inversion Nights, we were quite naive. We were putting out videos thinking we were really unique and we were doing something new. And really, we were doing what everybody else were doing. And the only thing that I think that carried it is that we were father and son. I'm quite a witty guy, so I'm cracking some gags. And Zave was quite an interesting kid, So I feel like it did well. But then Zave grew out of it. He's not really interested anymore. He's a little bit embarrassed even by it, maybe. And I feel like for me, Inversion Nights just ran its course. But now I fully see OTT as something that I can invest some time in and that I want to invest my time, because I'm a busy dude. I've got 3 different jobs on the go. I've got a girlfriend, a baby, a son, and I still find time to do this. I
think OTT is believe it or not, it's not a typical community kind of platform.
Yeah.
We get people on, we get their opinions and discussions, adult conversations, none of this vlogging BS kind of thing.
I want us to be a little bit, especially now we've hit 1,000 subs, we can really start to focus on the channel, try and aim for monetization, try and keep growing. By the end of the year, I'd like us to see us doubled, really. I'd like to see that. And I feel like the way we'll get there is by being genuine, being ourselves, and keep putting out the content that is different to everybody else. And that's my main criticism of even some podcasts I watch. I'm not shitting on anybody, but sometimes it is very samey. Yeah. And I feel like that's what we need to keep being ourselves.
I think also OTT really pioneered the what's it called, the theme park UK podcast, at least the online talking on Zoom and stuff, and going that. And I think for us to progress, we've got to look at future ways to future-proof OTT, and future-proofing OTT is like this, and OTT Presents.
And if you guys don't have any ideas,
we need ideas.
Put them in the comments. That's what it is. But I completely agree. Like we're to this day now, we're still the only podcast that can do phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Do a lot of live streamings that we did. Now, obviously, as time goes on, we'll be doing less of them and doing more of this because I think this is more natural than over.
Yeah,
this is more what we are as people.
Even a couple of people like this, and maybe me and Rob in a box, or Jake and Rob in a box.
That's it.
You know, and just that little bit more of human interaction, but also the production quality, which is on your back, and
your
of
credit
course,
card.
a lot of your graphics and stuff that go into it. I'm a graphic designer, but Jake just does it because you know
why not?
But I dropped myself in it there a bit, didn't I? But that's testament, I think, that we are growing. We're up for it. You know, we're here. Stick with us, as Inversion Alex would say.
I'm taking a drink for that one.
Yeah. We need drink with Inversion Alex. A new game we're going to play. We should do an episode of that.
Oh my gosh!
Drink along with him. Whenever I say fantastic, spot on, stick with us, we have a drink. And I'll be leathered 2 minutes in.
But no, it's been good.
It's been good. And I think, like we said, we are future-proofing OTT. This is the future of us. And we want to be more human, is the best way to say it.
Yeah,
and
I think it's more ourselves, aren't we?
And that's what we are. OTT is known for being opinionated and this, that, and the other, but that's who we are. And we want OTT.
Yeah, you got to remember, we're getting old, man.
Yeah,
you know, we don't understand a lot of things. It's confusing and scary to us. You know what I mean?
It is. But
I'm 35 now. I'm not. You know what? We'll quickly go over to the diss track. This will probably get cut out because Dan doesn't want me talking about it. I'm a liability. But somebody on Twitter, when it was all going on, said a bunch of 40-plus-year-old men.
I bet you were like,
I was like, how the hell, mate?
I wasn't even 40.
You were 39.
I know, the cheeky
I wouldn't
sods.
mind. The sods. But anyway,
even in the
I definitely think 2024 is our year. 100% on OTT.
Yeah, but we said 2023 would be our year. But I think with 2024, it's a bit different. We've hit the 1K early on. I feel like we have engagement to make content this year. Yeah. Even if it's not weekly. We don't want OTT to be weekly now. We want it to be a one-off live.
I'd say every 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, we don't want it to be every week because there's not always enough stuff to talk about.
News and stuff, yeah.
And the thing is, I think you got to remember as well is, you know, talking about that community aspect, you know, we're not necessarily, we're getting a bit older. We don't necessarily know the ins and outs and the really intricate bits of everything that goes on every week. So I feel like we do a bit of a summary every 2 or 3 weeks.
And I like that. That's
but then
why.
Also, we're not really a theme park news people.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
We used to be.
Yeah.
Welcome to OTT News.
Oh God, I
my
remember that.
God.
Jesus.
But like, we focus more on the games between us both. We talk about what's going on and etc. And I think I enjoy it more now.
It's more on other people's opinions of getting there
and seeing what the chat thinks.
Yes, that's one thing that we've always done. Like, I remember always saying to Lee, like, so what are people saying in the chat then? It's just one of them things that we do communicate with the audience.
I just think that the future of us is, like we said, being more human, being more talking, actually saying our opinions, and that's who we want to be. We don't want to be this sophisticated, like talking.
I think a lot of it for me as well is I'm a very light-hearted dude. I know you are, Dan.
Yeah.
We want to have a laugh.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, the main thing for me is I want to have a laugh, and I feel like sometimes you need to sort of break away a little bit from being that typical theme park podcast to do that, because it is a very serious place, the theme park community, isn't it?
I mean, if you if you say something
slightly out of whack.
If you tilt to the left, mate, it's game over.
You have all 12 of them on Twitter against you. You know what I mean? It's a nightmare.
We've been through that, haven't we?
Oh yeah, I mean, I went wild on Twitter for a few weeks, but obviously, things happen. You know, sometimes you have to stand your ground for what you believe, and it might not be the same as what other people believe. It doesn't mean that either of you are wrong.
Yeah, and like we stated our opinions, and we've moved on from situations over time.
Yeah, and like even talking about back to the diss track, you know, it was always tongue in cheek. It was always fun. It was always fun. And I think a lot of people didn't understand where we were coming from. Where I used to be a rapper. I still deal in music production, and I'm very much into the hip hop community. And to me, diss tracks are a serious thing. So to take them into that comedic aspect, but still be savage was a hard thing to do, and people didn't understand it. No malice was meant.
But the thing is, a lot of I'm not saying them all of the community, but there's a lot of youngsters in there.
Oh yeah, and that's what we're trying to sort of cater to the older guys, because once you're enthusiast, there's always a bit of you an enthusiast, you know. So if you're 30 plus and you're bored of your wife, welcome to OTT.
OTT live every
See
Sunday.
you maybe every other Sunday at a push. See you every 12th for Jalemba.
But like we said, there's not many theme park channels that cater towards the older audience.
No,
A lot of channels, like I'm gonna mention channels like Theme Park Worldwide, Jack Silkstone.
I mean, Theme Park Worldwide for me is like the cornerstone of a UK theme park vlogger. So everybody who's a UK theme park enthusiast, anybody from the UK who's looked online to research a trip or maybe look at a theme park they're going to on holiday, not even enthusiasts, will have come across a Sean Sambrook vlog, no doubt. You know, and that's, for me, I admire that determination and that, you know, to go and do it every day. That is his job. Yeah. You know, and he doesn't ever have a day off. Yeah. I have loads of days off. You know what I mean? Like, I love a day off. The last time Sean Sambrook had a duvet day, he was 9. You know what I mean?
That's when he's putting out the POV videos.
Yeah, for sure. Charlotte's whipping up a bacon sign. He's whipping on an old POV from last year. One of the 1,500 trips he did that week.
But like I said though, we want to push towards a more older, more not sophisticated, but more light-hearted viewers. Yeah, and that's what we've always tried to do. And that's, if you look at all our content and lives and how we are as people, that's who we want to talk to.
While we're here, should we shout out a few channels that we enjoy?
Yeah, I think we should.
Come
on there, mate.
I want to shout out first of all Dominic Gardner, because honestly, that guy does not stop. He's like Theme Park Worldwide in that respect. Yeah, he doesn't stop. So big shout out to Dominic Gardner. His Thought Park updates have been great, and I feel like his content's really coming on. You know, his personality really comes across. Now. I love how he doesn't take himself seriously, but he's still knowledgeable. Good, I like him. He's a good guy. So
he's a good guy.
Number 1, Dom Gardner.
I'm gonna be really close to my heart now as a good friend of mine, Mr. Lift Up the Girls. He's a good friend of ours. We love Sean, and Sean's always been a very strong part of OTT.
He's always been a sub.
Do you know as well, since even when me and Zay started and Sean was just kicking off, which shows the difference in, you know, work ethic for your channel, because you know what I mean? Inversion Addicts is on 1,400, I think, now, and I haven't put anything out for a year. So, and Sean's obviously killing it. What's he on now?
He's just hit 16K.
16.
That's serious. So he's going to end up to a point where he won't even need Back to the Movies and all his other shit. He'll be earning a decent living off that, because that channel is growing. I love the guy. I mean, I think he's class.
He's definitely
and he's himself.
Yes,
that's important,
and that's who we are like, and that's why we get on really well with Sean. And Sean's done. We would like to say thank you to Sean for helping
for getting us 100 subs.
Yeah, for getting to 1,000 subs.
100%. Because I had a load of people saying to me, "Guys, so let me get straight. So Sean's putting videos from what you've edited on your podcast onto his channel."
Yes.
People couldn't get that, and I was like, yeah, because
it's marketing.
It's marketing.
It's marketing.
If you didn't advertise OTT or cut me out completely, then I'd be a bit like, dude.
No, but like, the whole point of him putting that on is to say, go and check out this video I did with OTT. It's a very good thing of him to do, and it's content for his channel. It's a win-win for us both. Yeah. Like I admire Sean. I think he's great, and like every time I watch a video, he's like, "Hey, thank you to wherever the fuck I am today for inviting me here." And I'm like, what the fuck, man? I'm paying for tickets left, right and centre, and this guy is getting invited everywhere. Like, I love it, man. He's killing it. I went to the UK theme parks a while with Sean, and it was such a laugh. Like, I don't know if I should say this. It might be incriminating to us both, but there were some party bags, and we wanted an extra one for some friends and family. So what we did, we went and we put our party bags in the car and just schmoozed about for a bit in the awards and got another one.
Fucking genius.
Genius. I've got two attraction tickets flasks here doing now, if anybody wants one. But yeah, I love the guy. We had such a laugh, man. And I do want to do more stuff with Sean. Like, I got a bit upset recently because these guys all went somewhere and I couldn't go, basically. And it was horrendous getting the FOMO. I was like, seeing pictures like,
But if you'd like to check out my Europa Park
and the main reason though I wanted to go is because Sean was going and he's banter.
He doesn't take anything serious at all. Sean doesn't.
Any channels you want to shout out?
Who's yours?
At the moment, believe it or not, it's not more of a YouTuber. It's more of an Instagram, and that's Coaster Tog. Now I've always got on. You know,
love Toaster Tog, love him. But what I like about him is amazing footage, he's amazing pictures, but he's such a fucking nice guy, man.
He is.
And that goes so far with me.
Yes, it does.
And it doesn't go to his head, because he's got thousands and thousands of like viewers on TikTok or Instagram Reels and this and that. and he's so
blown up, man.
He's
blown
just
up.
level, and hopefully, fingers crossed, he says that he wants to come on, so we can get him on here. So that'd be amazing. But yeah, I do like Coast to Talk.
I like Coast to Talk. Yeah.
Having what's called Sean come onto our podcast not podcast onto the talk in between you and Sean has allowed a lot of other content creators to see what we are as OTT and see they would love to come and do this type of format with us where we sit around the table and talk to each other.
I love this. I love this format.
And I'm not
really
going to lie, a lot of content creators have messaged us.
Yeah.
We're not going to say who they are, but they have messaged us saying that they would love to take part.
Theme Park Worldwide.
We wish. Have messaged us and said they'd like to take part.
Yeah, man.
We are.
You know what? I'm down
proud
for
of what we are.
But I'd really like to see as well. I want to see some sort of insiders in the industry on. So obviously, like Wardley would be amazing. I would just sit and watch that.
That'd be amazing.
But people like that, and your Burtons and anybody of that.
Well, that Ross now follows us on Instagram.
He does. Shout out
Thought Park.
Oh yeah.
Is he the technical director or something?
I don't know, but I wouldn't mind getting him on. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, that'd be
It'd
sweet.
be great, like I said, like talking to industry specialists. That's like.
I think the only one we had was from Fantasy Island. What was his name?
Oh, the Mellors.
Yeah,
that was amazing. Rob
cool.
had that.
The Mellors are an interesting family, and I feel like we should have pried more on that. Why we sent Rob, I'll never know.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we should have. We love you, Rob.
We love you, Rob. You're amazing, but.
Yeah.
While we're here, actually, get well soon to Rob's daughter.
Yes.
We'll put a razor glass to Rob and his daughter because lovely young girl has been fallen ill, hasn't she? Mm-hmm. And that's why Rob couldn't be here with us tonight, which we're all gutted about, but we're more gutted about Rob's daughter. So, loving the chat. Yeah, get well soon. She will. She's Rob's daughter. I mean, that family can do anything. He's a very talented man, is Rob.
Yeah.
But yes, we've got to talk about more than anything this year.
Okay.
Parks.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
and pints.
Are you renewing your Merlin pass? Are you not?
No, I'm not. I don't think I am because I don't think I'll get the use this year. I mean, I'm gonna go and do Thought Park, of course, maybe once or twice. I'm definitely gonna do Alton Towers once or twice, and that's probably it. I've still not been to Chessington. I've not done Jumanji.
I mean, you're not missing.
I've not done it.
It's all right.
I want to go. Don't get me wrong, but. When we were doing it, me and Zave was really up for it. Like you'll know this, if your son really loves something, you're doing whatever you 100%. Can do to facilitate that. Now he doesn't bother. He's not arsed. So for me to get to Chessington, a 4.5 hour drive, that when Zave was like, yeah, let's do it, I'm keen. But now I'm like, shit, I'm on my own, So it's a tough shout for me. I think Zave still wants to do parks. He still loves theme parks and roller coasters. He's just not bothered about the whole community thing. He's not bothered about being like a crazy enthusiast. He's more into his football.
Yeah,
but
and he just wants to go to foreign parks on holiday and stuff. Really now.
Yeah, Zave's like me. Like the reason Theme Park Jake is coming to an end and slowing down is because I'm growing out of it.
Yeah,
and I've always taken Theme Park Jake as a a memory, and like it's showcasing what I've done over the past few years, like, and I think OTT is my next step.
Not to throw a grenade in your plan, but I feel like right now you're kind of entering your like golden years, the time you should be vlogging. You're traveling everywhere, you're going on crazy trips, you've got all these cool friends who are going doing shit with you. Now is the time to be a vlogger, bro. Like, if I were you, I'd double down. Like, give it another year and really go for it.
I've got like 5 vlogs from different worldwide theme parks that not uploaded. Never had the chance.
What is it?
I think with OTT, I have engagement to actually go. Oh, actually, this is gonna be a fun thing.
And it's fun, isn't it?
Yeah,
I get you.
I think Theme Park Jake for me has kind of become a chore over the past few years.
That's what happened with Inversion Addicts, you know. Do you know what the main thing why I stopped is if you look at my channel, we went to Blackpool with everyone and I loved it and we had a really good vlog and I did the Disneyland Paris. They didn't get great views where my older stuff did, and because I was mainly on my own, Dave wasn't that bothered, and I'd try and vlog with him and it'd be off chatting up some girl in Avalanche's queue. You know what I mean? It was a tough shout. So I started to see my viewership decline a little bit and I thought I'm just going to bow out. You know,
That's
I
was only barely getting 300 views a video, and views. People say views don't matter.
Ah, they do.
They do matter. They really impact on how you feel about your content.
Yeah, that's it. And it's for me, but that's why I quit Twitch, because at first my Twitch went mad, and I had loads of people in there having these Twitch raids, and I was in the hype train, and it was amazing. But then I went on one night and I got 3 people in, and they were 3 just people who I didn't know, who didn't really add anything to it, and probably one of them was me on my phone checking my stream was working. You know what I mean? And I just thought,
we've all done that.
What the fuck am I doing, man? I've got better things to do than sit here and play a game I don't want to play. And I feel like I don't have that determination well, you've got to get through that, you know. And that's the thing with Inversion Addicts. Like, it did really well at the start. I feel like I probably didn't help myself being a little bit outspoken in the community, and obviously with the diss tracks, and it upset a lot of people, and it just ended up.
But then realistically, that's who you are, and you want to make your own opinion. And I think.
But I do miss Inversion Addicts, you know. Like, a part of me thinks, should I bring it back with documentaries and vlogs? I do miss it, you know. I miss creating.
I had that thought earlier this year, and I kind of. The thing is, I've done Theme Park Jake, for 8 years in 2020.
Well, I watched the history and future of Theme Park Jake that they're doing it.
It is.
Because you were a tot at the start.
Yeah, and like, I thoroughly enjoyed it at first. And like, you look at the progression of the channel, you look at the beginning stuff, and it's just basically knockoff.
Yeah.
And that's how you are. When you, like you said earlier, you start off, you're a Theme Park Worldwide wannabe, and etc. And then I've, over time, wanted to improve the channel, improve the content, and I've gotten to the point now that I've found what I like to make, and that's the OTT Presents, and that
so
is
good, man.
my style of vlog. I love making, having an intro, an outro. Yes, it's very comedic over time, but the way I've always taken it is that I want to kind of keep like this grand tour. Like the Grand Tour Top Gear style. Like we're 4 guys traveling the world together, visiting theme parks, having a laugh.
Yeah.
And it's not always about theme parks. And like Top Gear, Grand Tour, it's not always about the cars.
No.
It's always about how...
That's the journey.
The Flamingo Land one.
Yeah.
And there's a bit where I think we're all exiting sick, and you just pan to me quickly, and the edit, it makes it, and I just go, I thought it was shit. And it cuts away. And it was just like, that's it. Yeah. Like we're... Every other theme park vlog would have been, do you know what? I think it was good. I think it was this. I think it was that. And I'm just like, I think it was shit. Off I go.
But I loved it. Like I said, it's what I want. I want to create fast-paced, fun vlogs.
Yeah, the edits are great, aren't they?
Oh God,
I love getting the edit back because you
so
forget what we've said and what we've done.
And it's true though, yeah. And I mean, like, obviously we've all got our strong points of what we do. Like, you know a lot about theme parks, like the history and the futures and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm into that.
I miss it. I miss the whole series. You are you're presenting with your vlogging and stuff in different styles. Mine is, I love this. I love hearing people's experiences and having a conversation and stuff.
I feel like this has always been your strongest suit, the podcasts.
Yeah.
I do. I feel like, especially early days OTT, even when you were doing it with like a gas fire behind you and stuff. Do you remember? Like, it was still watchable.
Back in his dining room.
I put them on to have a laugh, and I'm like, this is pretty good actually. Right? You know what I mean? Like,
but yeah, I mean, and you know, and I think it's amazing. I love it, and I love you guys, and the fact of that we're still here to this day, still doing what we're doing.
Yeah, man, we're rocking. We're rocking.
And obviously now we've put this massive trip to Florida in 2024, mate.
Yeah,
this year, but
OTT Presents.
Are we all down? And let us know in the comments if you're down for this. I want a feature length like movie from it.
OTT Presents.
I want
with an OTT original.
And honestly, I think that'd be so. Even just like an hour, maybe an hour 10 feature length.
It's whether I think people would watch it.
I think so. And if not, I would. And that's.
I'm going to go into the analytics a tiny touch, and you look at how people are watching these type of videos, and you look at how people are watching what's it called, OTT Presents.
Yeah.
Look at people watching all the other content. People are watching them and enjoying them, and I think it's becoming a fun thing for us, and it's what's keeping us going.
YouTube itself.
Yes.
Yeah. And what would you tell yourself? Like
what would I tell myself if I was started now?
Yeah.
Don't bother. I'm being truthful. I wouldn't.
Don't be
I wouldn't bother until I'm older.
Yeah.
Because, but the point when I started, I was a wee little child.
You were young.
Yeah. And
do you remember that bit on the future and history of Jake when I just edited loads of and then at the end it went, and me dad. Go and check that out. We'll put a link up here.
Yeah, we're trying.
There'll be a thing.
Like I wouldn't continue. Like I wouldn't do it like at that young age again, because
a lot of stress.
I don't think it's not stress.
No, but at the time it was just something you did for fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, when I was young, I thought I'd be cool and popular. And
well, you are cool and popular.
I wasn't back then.
In some schools.
After the ladies, that's what it is.
Me?
What would you tell? I probably would say don't take it too serious. I think it's very easy.
Don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
That gets me sometimes. I see a lot of early channels in their infancy, and they're starting up, and they're taking this, and they're talking about giveaways and just stuff like that. And I think, do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Win a PS5.
Yeah, it's bollocks. Yeah, he's having to buy it. I'm not.
We're not
I'm not
chipping in
entertaining
at
that.
all.
I was so stupid.
I don't know what I was thinking at the
But
time.
anyway, you know, we live in tech. But I mean, smaller channels, and even because you had did have a community, even if it was just 20, 30 people watching, it's still a lot of people to watch you live. Yeah. I always say to us, whenever Dan gets a bit disheartened, or like he's talking like, oh, it's, you know, it's the same people, or it's this, and he wants, you do, don't you? You critique your own shit. Like I always say, look, if you went on Twitch now and every day you got 30 people watching, or every Sunday you got 30 people in your Twitch, you would always Twitch on that. You know, so I feel like we take OTT for granted a lot of the time.
I think you're right there, because I remember when, yes, we do get the same people, but then you got to think to yourself, these are the 30, 40 people
audience, of course, man. They're our ride or die, man. Like you've got what I love about the chat on OTT more than anything is the running jokes and the community aspect that we've essentially all been together for a couple of years now, at least, you know.
And we've created it.
And like OTT is now known as something completely different.
And there's some
like
fucking legends. I say every week, there's some legends in the chat this week, Dan, and it isn't just a script. There's some fucking legends in that chat, man.
They've
you know, let's shout some of them guys out,
like
man.
Luke O'Neill.
We've got Pete. Do you know what else I love in the chat as well? Is the in jokes and the
ongoing
like the
technical
hashtag
troubles.
Borisons and stuff like that. I think it's so funny how it goes.
Oh my god!
And
Do you remember the
sometimes we're like,
Towers one?
for God's sake, this again. But then you look and you think that's one episode a year ago, and people are remembering that shit. That's iconic, man.
And I must admit, and I remember saying that to the chat. The chat was like, "Oh, when's it coming back? When we miss you guys." And to be fair, we were getting a lot of messages of people saying, "Are you coming back? We miss you guys." And to be fair, that is really. I think it was only before Christmas. That's when we thought, do you know what? Let's just do it. Because
it was just after the season officially ended at Towers, wasn't it? So that's when we started, and we thought, actually, let's
just do it.
We had conversations. I mean, weeks before, saying, "Oh, should we bring it back?" And this, that, and
the
the
thing
other.
is,
well, you did bring it back for a bit, didn't you? Not long ago. Then you got bored again, and then you brought it back.
Can we just? It's not boredom. I'm just frigging busy. I've got my own business.
No, I get it.
But then, realistically, if that's the case now, OTT is one of these places now that it's not just all about Dan. There's 4 people.
It's a lot about Dan though, and I wouldn't have it any other way, Dan. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah,
because Dan's the man.
But like,
you are hilarious. Like what I love about Dan, right? He can say a sentence with 5 words in it and get 4 of them wrong, but make it hilarious. Like, you know what I mean? I love you, Dan. You're a legend. Yeah. But anyway, back to the question. What I would tell myself is I wouldn't be as niche. I wouldn't have called it Inversion Addicts. I would have gone a little bit more broad with it.
So you can have done anything
other
more.
things, because that's what I'm longing for now. I'm longing for a channel, but I don't think I have the stamina to go through that again. Because getting Inversion Addicts monetized and stuff, it took a lot out of me, man. Yeah. My car's got like 50,000-60,000 more miles on it than it would have had if I hadn't started you know what I mean? It costs me a lot of money. I live in the north, so for me to go to any of the Merlin parks apart from Alton Towers is a ball ache.
But then you got to break it down. Did it
every week, man.
But then. You see, the flip side of it all is the fact that you made memories with your little lad.
Oh, and me and Dave bonded. Me and Dave have always been really close, always. But we bonded special, extra, because we were doing this shit all the time. And every weekend we were going to a different park, and we were doing Thought Park, and we were stopping over. And some days we'd get up at 4 a.m, drive to Thought Park for 9. We'd stand outside waiting for it to open, go in at 10, do all day in the park, get in the car at 5-6 o'clock whenever it's shut, and drive back to Charlie 4 more hours. And we'd get home at like 10, 11 p.m. and we'd set off at 4 a.m. and that's what we used to do all the time. And I feel like we just overdid it because we both saw that as soon as we put our first couple of vlogs on, you can go back and look, and they've all got decent views, like 4 or 5k, and they did well, man.
I always remember when you first came on Off the Tracks.
I remember you saying we were like the new up and coming big channel.
And like we watched. I always remember me and my old friend at the time. We used to watch the Off the Tracks regularly every week. The live show. You came on. You then became regular, and we started watching your content. And we, like I said to you there and then, you are the upcoming theme park YouTube channel, and I feel
like we had a little bit of everything, and like we had a little bit of the like expedition theme park. We had the vlogs that were good, because I was. Like, not to blow my own trumpet, but I've always been quite a good host, and I've always been able to, like, at work, I'm a DJ, and I'm on the mic, and I can, essentially control hundreds of people in a bar, so I know how to speak to people in crowds, and and I kind of and then I do graphics.
Yeah.
So all the graphics look good. You know,
thumbnails
Inversion Addicts look great. The logo was great. I feel
The
like
music.
the music was top. You know, and I feel like it had a lot. I don't think. Excuse me. Cut that out. I feel like one thing I would have done now, looking back, if I was to do Inversion Addicts again, I think I'd look at other vlogs that weren't theme park vlogs. I'd look at big vloggers.
Yeah.
Because I've took a lot out of them. If you look at like the Paris vlog, that's very much how I'd come out straight away with music and edits.
Yeah.
And
but have you noticed though, last year near the end, not many people were vlogging. That you had, you know, the typical people who went to a lot of these theme parks. They vlogged a lot. A lot of content in the theme park never really happened.
I think the problem is that there's getting to the point now that there's
not
too
a lot
many
more to say, is there?
Yeah, there's too many Alton Towers vlogs and etc. Like you can't. There's so many times you can go to Alton Towers and say we're about to ride the Smiler.
Yeah,
well, that's why Inversion Addicts dropped off really, because I got bored of going to the same parks. I couldn't afford to go abroad, like to keep up with Theme Park Worldwide. He went on a 29-day trip to America. And you know what? That trip now will probably be earning him his money back for it.
Yeah.
And you know, the guy's doing it, and that's what you're trying to compete against. Somebody who started when YouTube wasn't even really YouTube. It was some little thing where you could watch square videos in 720p. You know, he started before it was even a thing, man. Like, I reckon he was one of the forefathers of fucking theme park vlogging.
Well,
worldwide.
I've always said there is a timeline of theme park content creation. You look at Theme Park Review, who did the theme park on ride POVs and etc.
Yeah, man.
Theme Park Worldwide started the revolution of vlogging.
There's always going to be a market for that shit, I get. But we only need one, guys. We don't need 18 channels putting up an icon.
And I think you look at, and I don't really like to mention names, but let's with Jack Silkstone, he's now come out of the vlogging scene,
and now he's working with
now
the park.
he's doing a lot
still
more
vlogging. He's just his vlogs are now. It's hard to see the line where vlogs become fully fledged productions because his production's that good. You know, he's getting access to places like the Exodus building site, you know, Hyperia. And it's unbelievable. I've been dying. He had a break, didn't he, over the new, and I was like, I'm not mad into it anymore, but I was gagging for that Jack Silkstone Hyperia update.
Yeah.
And I'm a 35-year-old dude who's got a family and a baby and all sorts of shit going on, and I'm checking YouTube for it because I want to see what Hyperia's up to.
I'm not gonna lie.
And he's the guy with that shit. That's why I love Dominic Gardner, because when Jake's on a 10-day break, which is rightly so, the guy's Jake, fucking hell. Sorry, Jack. But you got to respect Jack for what he does, man. He's made a job out of it.
Yeah.
And now he's doing so much more. But Dominic Gardner's the guy who's there every fucking day, man.
Yeah.
And you've got to respect that kid for that.
I think anyone who does a YouTube channel, because we've all done it, it's very hard, like you said, to keep going.
Dude, Dominic Gardner gets on like a bus, and I'm sure he changes buses or he gets on a train. He's travelling. It's like 30, 40 minutes minimum, I'm sure, from what it looks like, to get to this place. He doesn't drive.
No.
That's more determination
just
than
to walk
I've
down
got
Monk's Walk just to see Hyperia.
Dude, you've got like, that's the thing with me. I watch now and I think I had a lot of dedication at first.
Yeah.
But that dwindled as Xavier's enthusiasm dwindled. It was like a fucking graph, and I still want to do it, but I haven't got that. I'm not got.
But then
I would not drive to fucking.
That's
Monk's
how
Walk.
OTT's allowed you to
I
express
love
yourself,
mate. I love it, and I can still keep my toe dipped in the.
And I think that's what we've realised. Beforehand, we were going head first, diving here, there, and everywhere. But now it's like you said, like it's just nice just to say, have a 2 weeks off, and then we'll start. I said we were literally constant, and I was burning out. Not for you guys. It was more because there was a lot of production work behind the scenes of OTT.
I get that.
Me trying to get all the information, all the photos, all the games sorted out, everything, all this lot. And it wasn't to say like, because these guys are not getting paid for it, so I'm not going to turn around to them.
No, but I think at the same time, you as well didn't want to really ask us. No. And we weren't like, yeah, we'll do it, you know. So it was everybody's a little. But I'm happy to help.
But like you've always said,
happy to help.
Right, is that there will come to a point where you will not want to do OTT anymore, and your plan is to build a team who can continue OTT's legacy over the time.
No, but I honestly think I think it's now or never for OTT. Honestly, I do. In the next couple of years coming up, I feel like we really need to put our eggs in the basket.
I think this year is a very interesting year for OTT. See if we get monetized, even saying monetized, but just putting out regular videos.
Being monetized gives us an extra little bit of motivation to make that content, doesn't
100%.
it?
And you know, and I genuinely think our viewers who have been our hardcore OTT fans I think we owe it to them because they literally have been with us for 2 or 3 years.
And that's what I was trying to say about the chat. There's legends in there who've been there for days, a long time, and they've
been there since I was even in the chat.
Essentially, make the fucking show, man.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Like, that all along.
And that's what OTT viewer takeover has always been. It's always been where the viewers take over the show with the calls and the chat.
And this is why. I wanted these two kind of things of this podcast. One where we all sit down, have a conversation, have a laugh, chat, have a catch up, what's cracking off.
Yeah.
And then the viewer takeover was supposed to be the OTT of what we all know.
Yeah, man.
Stuff. That's why it was called, like you said, viewer takeovers, because they all jump in the chat, they all have the phone calls, the whole shebang. So now my dream and my reality of what this is it. This is exactly what I imagine OTT was 2 years ago.
Well, I remember when I first joined, you said eventually we want to all be in one room 100%. And we want to be. I remember you saying that, man.
You've been saying it for years.
Yeah, he has, and I love the fact that we've done it. And shout out to Dan as well. And we weren't joking. He's bought all this shit, man. You know what I mean? He's going for it. So I feel like we don't feel like we owe him, but we see the dedication that Dan's got into it, and we want to repay that, you know what I mean? And I believe in it, man. I really do. And I was saying before we started shooting, like, having a laugh, that I see myself as the gobshite and Jake's the brain box, and I see that, you know. I feel like we've all got our own little character in here. We're all so different, you know. And if it wasn't for me coming on OTT and even like lockdown and starting YouTube, I would not know you guys, you know what I mean? My world's very different from yours, and your world's quite different from Jake's, and do you know what I mean? It's like, and I love how we've all just come together, and because of that, we've got such different backgrounds and different. We get on so well, you know, because we all bring something new. And like, you tell me shit I hadn't know existed, you know. But same with you. I'll introduce you to shoes and fashion. Yeah. And I love that we all rub off on each other. And like, when I'm planning a trip, I ring you. You know what I mean? And if you don't answer, I ring your dad. You know?
All four of us are completely different people.
Oh, so different, man.
And we all have this connection. Okay, I'm not saying theme park is our connection, but we all have the engagement to make content.
Yeah.
And that's what we all thrive off. We've all learnt off each other over the past few years. Like, even I've not been a host on OTT. I've been behind the scenes doing other bits over time that I've always...
Oh, we're in, brother. We're in.
I've been doing other bits over time that I've made thumbnails. Shout out to our old friend Toby from Toby the Noodles.
I messaged Toby today actually saying I miss you, man.
Yeah, I love Toby. He did so much for us over the time.
Because I'm an old dude. I've been around the block, man. I've been in Circle of Friends, and I know the people who will be here for a short amount of time. And I knew our time with Toby was limited because he's a young guy. He is on a trajectory, bro.
Yes, he is.
If you go and check out Theme Park 4. So is it Toby the Noodles? Yeah, Toby the Noodles. Small channel because he doesn't really promote much more than his Instagram and stuff. So he's not growing massively, but he's one of the best about, man. But what he does, them comedy vlogs and the short, snappy wit, and how talented that kid is, man. Like, I've been a graphic designer since I was 16. I'm 35 now, and he was doing things I never thought about doing.
Yeah, for such a young age.
Crazy talented.
But you look at like when we used to be on Discord all the time, and like in all private calls. And man. Toby used to teach me how to use Photoshop and Premiere.
Such a young lad, and his wit was elite. I try and class myself as like a bit of a connoisseur of wit, you know. I love like my comedy and my old like Only Fools and Horses and the Royal Family and things like that. And I love comedy shows, and I feel like I could almost write comedy, you know. Sometimes like I can see situations differently, but he would say something that just made me crease. And when we went to Paris mate,
was the best.
I was like, do you know when you were younger and you go on holiday with maybe your mate, or you were, say there was a group of you, but you had one of your mates who was your best mate and you loved him and you wanted to fucking be around him all the time and you wanted to hear what he said and you want him to hear you. That's what I felt like with Toby. I was just like, Toby, like, you're so fucking funny. He's just a legend, man. And I feel like he's that kind of guy who will go far in whatever he decides to do because he's just so likable, so funny. Love him. Yeah. So Toby, we love you, man.
He's a very talented kid.
Oh, he's so very talented kid. And I even said, like, if you ever stuck for work, you give me a shout. I would definitely get Toby work because he's so good at graphics. He's unbelievable. This has turned into a We Love Toby podcast, hasn't it? Yes. Hi, I'm Lee. Welcome to We Love Toby.
But I think we definitely should do this again, all of us.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Sit around, have a chat, have a drink, and just talk, you know. And I don't think many people do that.
And I think we have conversations between us, but like in-depth conversation about
Yeah,
what
man.
we've done together.
I like dissecting things, and I'm
Yeah.
sure other people like
Listening to it.
Yeah, and I listen to podcasts like that where
Yes.
people
Yeah.
dissect their own shit, and they, sometimes I think everyone's guilty of overthinking. So to
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
that group evaluation,
I think we, as a group, we've been through a lot together as a group.
Mm-hmm.
We've learned together who we want to be and where we want to be as friends, and I'm very excited about the future of OTT.
100%. And do you know what? What a lot of people said to me goes, "Oh, are you guys really that close?" And to be fair, and this is no word of lie when I say this, we do talk.
Oh yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, all the time.
No matter the situation,
No.
even if it's not theme park based and it's something that we're all interested in, I'll send it to Lee, like it was about like Clarkson's Farm or whatever.
Well, I hadn't spoke to Jake in ages. It'd been weeks and weeks, and we hadn't spoke because we're doing OTT, and everyone were doing their own thing, and you'd been away a few times, and I was planning a trip, I think, for me and Zave, and I just thought, Jake, and I rang him, and it was like I'd not spoke to you in a day.
Yeah.
You were like, "Hiya, mate." I was like, "Hiya, buddy. I'm going to Fantasia Land." Right. Well, what you need is boom, and then there you go, like an encyclopedia, shit, man. And it's just like, yeah, like these are my boys, and like what I love is you were such an unlikely group of friends for me. Like I didn't when I first messaged you. I remember messaging you saying, "Yo, man, like me and Zave's channel's doing all right." I'd watched your podcast, and it was the only one that I'd seen that was quite genuine and looked quite exciting to be on. Can I come on? Like, I think I'd do well. And you were like, "Yeah, sweet, like come on." So I got you on, and then I remember the day after you messaged me, you were like, "Do you want to come on again?" I was like, "Yeah, all right."
I remember. I think I was speaking to Rob at the time, and I was like, "Rob, mate, what do you reckon to that Lee then?" And Rob was like, "What? No, he wasn't." No, he was like, "Do you know what? Do you know what? This guy knows what he's talking about. He's actually clear, and he's a really nice guy." And do you know what?
I was acting.
Changed.
I'm not a nice guy. I'm a prick.
and that's what I loved about it. No one has changed.
I think
we're
over
all the
time,
same.
I think I have. I think I've gone a little bit.
Is that your age?
grumpy old man.
You become of who you are.
No, yeah, what it is, I dropped that Lee from Inversion and its persona, and then started to sort of like. I'm not a skeptic, but sometimes I see things now a little bit because I think I've been going for so long. It's been 3 or 4 years now, and I've been going to Blackpool every year. Where I'd only just started going, so I sort of wanted to see what I wanted to see. But now I'm seeing it for what it is.
Yeah,
and I'm a bit more like I'm obviously a bit more grumpy. I've got a baby, and I'm tired, and everything.
Yeah, but I think what's happened is a lot of people when you're starting off like this, you want to be accepted. And I think as you get older and you have more responsibility,
and you're worried about people maybe disagreeing with you.
So now you can turn around and kind of go.
But now I don't give a shit, Dan.
Fuck
I don't give a shit.
If you don't like us,
couldn't give
a
fuck. And it's like that's kind of why I did the diss track, because I wanted to say there were a couple of home truths. Sorry, back to the diss track again. I'm like a fucking broken record, aren't I? But it was like there was some home truths in there, but they were all tongue in cheek. And I thought, let's say these people and are we liked? Because if somebody else had put something like that out, like one of the big, everyone would have loved it, So I feel like, and then the reaction that it got from a lot of people on the theme park Twitterverse just said to me, right, we're not necessarily liked. Maybe we have done some things, you know what I mean? Like, but who cares? Like,
I just think we've moved on from it.
I just don't understand with the situation, the fact of we had an opinion or whatever, we have something in mind, and because it doesn't match someone else's, then we're automatically wrong.
And it's like for me when we're like, I remember we used a dude's picture apparently. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
And I get that isn't cool. You need to get permission, but the way it was handled was unbelievable. Like, how many people really, when making a video, have just nicked a bit of footage?
100%.
I promise you, there's a lot of them out there.
Like, it's been over time that people have used my footage without permission. I'm guessing you guys have used.
Of course, and I've always asked for permission, and sometimes I used to like. Watch this, I'll get a load of fucking flags on my channel. No, all my videos will get took down. But I'd message somebody, and if they didn't reply, I'd tell them, I'd say, yeah. I'd be like, sweet. Like me and Lift Hills and Thrills used to share footage when I was I was vlogging every week.
The early age,
and we used to share footage. He'd let me use his stuff. I used some Breen Leisure Park stuff in one of my top 10s, and I loved it. Man, we had like Sean. That's one thing about Sean. He was always there. To be fair, Park Spill as well. I know that obviously there's been a lot going on with the chain dogs and this and that and whatever, and it's all a laugh.
That's a joke.
He was always a good lad to me early on, and so was who else was always giving me a shout? There was another channel. What's his name?
Who? Not Marcus, not Dan, not Sam, not...
No, Thrill Riders.
Thrill Riders.
Yeah, Marcus. He was always like one of them who was sort of an advocate for my channel, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was always nice, man. That early days, I feel like that was the golden age. You know what I mean? And then I think a few things happened that we won't talk about for OTT, and we just sort of got almost. It was almost like the whole. Everyone just thought, "Oh, the fuck are these guys?" It was weird, wasn't it?
I think we should. I think in our next episode when we all come together, I think we should talk about that. And I think.
But I think we, as a group, realised in that moment who we are.
Yeah.
Who we are as a group, and I think we realised there and then who we are as friends.
Yeah.
Okay. There was moments in that where
I don't get some mistakes were made, but I feel like the reaction was way more than what the crime was.
We were at
it was like stealing a chocolate bar and getting life in prison. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It was like fuck, all right.
Like we were in our darkest days, and I'll never forget this moment. And I was not in a very great place mentally, and a certain Mr. Daniel turned up to my house with his lovely wife Kelly. And asked if I was okay.
There you go.
And that is the moment there that I realised friendship.
I'm getting emotionally, I'm not going to lie.
I know, but I'm just saying. There's a moment there that I realised friendship. And I'll never forget coming home from college at the time and Mum and Dad saying, "Oh, Dan and Kelly are here." And I was like, "Oh, okay, why?" Is that they're just checking up on you. And I was like, that there proved to me that OTT and the friendship group in OTT is the place I'd like to go.
Oh, it's amazing. I love it. And like you guys are my boys now. Like I remember when I started OTT, I had a few different circles of friends. But as life goes on and obviously I've had the baby and stuff, I don't really see anybody apart from you guys. And I've got one or two good mates locally who I might go out for a beer with every couple of weeks and have a quick talking on the phone and doing project with, and I love creating, and I really want to get back to it, and I feel like this is the place where that's going to happen. You know, we're a creative group of guys, and we all have this common interest, and I'm thankful for it, man. Like, I'm thankful for the friendship.
Time, OTT has become a place where people have been able to express their opinions. We've had many different guests over time. We've had many different hosts over time. So we've had people like Tom, Chris, and Bez who have been with us and moved on over time. And over time, we've progressed either each and every time that a new host has joined us over time.
Yeah, man. And there's no bad blood.
No, it's no bad blood.
Of course not.
We are proud of our history, but also proud of our future of what OTT
Chris, like speaking of Chris was a good lad, man. He was a sound guy. And obviously, I know when we decided that it wasn't necessarily going to be a part of the show, like, I know his friend group didn't take it that well, but I know speaking to Chris myself, he was sweet, man. He was sweet. He was a good kid. And man, Chris. And obviously, again, back to the diss track, like a fucking long, I can't stop. I mentioned Chris, and it was a laugh, you know. Yeah. Chris is a good kid,
that is
man.
A diss track.
And same with Bez, you know, Bez is Bez, man. You can't not like Bez. So, shout out to those guys. Legends.
But there we go.
Yeah. Right.
We're proud of OTT and its future, and we'd like to say thank you to anyone who has made their way through this whole video. And
there's many.
Thank you once again to 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube. And also a quick thing before we do end, we have now got an OTT merch store where you can check out the OTT merch right here. Have a look in the description. You'll be able to see our Teespring link to where you can buy some merch that is represented by us right now. I have got mine on, but it's only on the
turn around, Jake. Quick turn around.
Ta-da.
There you go. So yes, once again, we'd like to say thank you for 1,000 subscribers. We have been we're so thankful for you all for subscribing, even if you have come from whatever time of period we have made content here on Off the Tracks, and whether you are a regular viewer here on Off the Tracks. But yeah, once again, thank you.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure, boys. I've really enjoyed this.
It has.
And I love you guys.
I know. And we're going to get Lee to do it. And as always,
clap and say
happy riding.
See you the next one. Bye-bye.